Alrighty, folks, we're 7-2 with a push in our last 10 chairman plays on my premium page. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today. For New Year's Day 2025, Happy New Year to you. It always reminds me of the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where people are wishing Larry David Happy New Year like 3 weeks after the New Year, and he's like, no, it's a little bit too late. Like, when's the cutoff? Is it 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks? I don't know. I feel like people say Happy New Year well into the middle to later half of January. But anyway, folks, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on social media since 2016. Once again, folks, we are 7-2 with a push in our last 10 chairman package picks on my premium page. I'll explain a little bit more about all that at the end of the video. But with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Bulls at the Wizards. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the nation's capital. Chicago is -5 on the road here. Totals 236. Now, the Bulls did get the W in 5 out of their last 8 ball games, winning record away from the Windy City. As a matter of fact, they actually played their best basketball away from the United Center. These guys are a top 3 point producing team on the road, one of the best road 3-point shooting teams in the game. Nikola Vucevic, he's drilling over 45% of his long balls, second on the roster in scoring. And Kobe White, he's averaging 18 points a game himself. Now they're facing a 5-25 Washington team who's been awful defensively. These guys are the worst defensive rebounding team at home in the game. They're also giving up just about 123 points a night in the nation's capital. Now, total-wise, 3 out of the Wizards' last 4 outings did get over the total. Meanwhile, Chicago's 10-7 to the over as the official road team. Now, injury-wise, Craig and Levine are questionable for Chicago. DeSumu's still out. Meanwhile, for the Wizards, Carrington and Poole are day-to-day for them. Keep an eye on those guys. I like the Bulls in this spot here. Give me Chicago -5 over 236. Next contest, Magic Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Detroit's the 2-point favorite at home here. Totals 213. And as good as the Pistons have been recently, they are still just 5-8 in the Little Caesars Arena, so they're not playing great at home. They're actually in the bottom 10 in point production on their own floor. And when it comes to shooting the deep ball, well, the Pistons are currently a bottom 3-point shooting team in their own arena, having a tough time shooting the basketball in front of their own fans. And they're facing an Orlando squad on the other side. You know, we've been saying it all year long. Defense, defense, defense when it comes to these guys. It's actually been that way for the past couple of seasons. They really do make it tough to score points against them. Listen, these guys are in the top 3 in defensive scoring on the road this year, and they are one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the game. Goga Bitadze leads the active roster in boards, team leader in blocks. And KCP, he's got the most steals on the active roster at the moment. Now, out of the Magic's last 9 ball games as a team, they did cover the number in 67% of those outings. When it comes to the injury list, Anthony Black's questionable for Orlando. Jalen Suggs, he's been upgraded to probable. That's good news for him. Now, total-wise, Orlando saw overs recently against the likes of Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Phoenix. Meanwhile, Detroit saw overs in their last 6 straight themselves. 9-1 to the over in their last 10. I like the Magic +2 over 213. All right, next contest, Nets, Raptors, 7:30 East. Brooklyn's the 1-point favorite away from home, totals 221. And as bad as Toronto's been, well, it's the Nets who've dropped 7 out of their last 9 themselves, and they do have a losing record away from Brooklyn. They're currently a bottom 10 point producing team in their travels. Horrible grabbing offensive rebounds. And fortunately for Toronto on the other side, well, they've done a nice job grabbing offensive boards in the Scotiabank Arena this year. They're actually in the top 5 right now in offensive rebounds at home. And speaking of those home games, the Raptors are currently 12-5 against the spread in their contests this year in their own building. Scotty Barnes, he's scoring just about 20 points a night. Ochai Agbaji drills 40% of his 3 balls. Now, injury-wise, RJ Barrett's day-to-day for the Raptors. He did not play yesterday against the Celtics. Grady Dick is also listed as questionable. Meanwhile, for Brooklyn, Bogey, Watford, and Thomas, they're all listed as inactive for them. When it comes to the total, Brooklyn saw overs in 5 out of their last 9. Toronto's currently 11-6 of the over on their own court. Give me the Raptors +1 over 221. Next contest, Pelicans Heat, 7:30 East. Miami's -8, totals 222. Now, Miami won 3 out of their last 4. They're actually 9-5 straight up in their own arena. Tyler Hero scoring 24 points a game, 41% shooting from downtown. And Jimmy Butler's making 55% of his attempts from the field, second on the roster in scoring. And they're facing a Pelicans team who hasn't won a ball game in a real long time. They've been terrible on both offense and defense during that span. As a matter of fact, the Pels haven't won a game since December 5th. They're currently on a 10-game skid. Now, injury-wise, Makovich is still out for the Pelicans. Alvarado and Robinson Earl are both listed as questionable. Meanwhile, for the Heat on the other side, Robinson's day-to-day. Richardson's still out. When it comes to the total, Miami saw unders in 3 out of their last 4. They actually went 8-2 to the under in their last 10 meetings with the Pelicans. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Of course, New Orleans, they saw unders recently against the likes of the Knicks, Pacers, and Kings. Give me Miami -8 under 222. Next game, Jazz Knicks, 7:30 p.m. East. New York's -12.5, totals 231 and a hook. Now, the red-hot Knicks are on an 8-game winning streak. They also went 13-2 straight up in their last 15. They're currently 10-4 straight up at MSG, and they've got a handful of scorers who can certainly get to the basket. Karl Anthony Towns averages over 24.5 points a game. He's second in the league in rebounds. Meanwhile, McBride and Payne, they're both shooting over 40% from 3-land combined. And they're facing a Utah squad who lost 7 out of their last 9 themselves. 125 points per contest they allowed during that time frame. Now, injury-wise, John Collins is doubtful for the Jazz. Brunson questionable for the Knicks. When it comes to the total, New York saw overs in 5 out of their last 7. Utah's currently 9-1 at the over in their last 10. Give me the Knicks -12.5, over 231 and a hook. Next game, Mavericks Rockets, 8 o'clock East. Houston's -5, totals 221.5. Now, the Rockets got the W in 6 out of their last 9, 11-5 straight up in the Toyota Center. And when it comes to defensive play, the Rockets are currently in the top 3 in defensive points per game in their own house. Amen Thompson's got the most blocks. Alpi Sengun leads the program in boards. And they're facing a Dallas club on the other side who dropped 3 out of their last 4, certainly struggling without Luka Doncic. He's still inactive with a calf strain. And out of 18 total contests away from Dallas, the Mavs covered the point spread in just 50% of those games. Now, injury-wise, once again, Luka's still scratched for Dallas. Derek Lively's questionable. Meanwhile, for Houston, Tari Eason's questionable for them. Keep an eye on him. Now, total-wise, the Rockets saw unders recently against the likes of Miami, Charlotte, and Oklahoma City. Meanwhile, Dallas went 6-3 to the under in their last 9 themselves. I like Houston -5, under 221.5. Next game, Hawks Nuggets, 9 o'clock East. Denver's -5, totals 246. Now, unfortunately, I have no free pick available for you for this game. If you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line total or against the point spread in that one, that game is being featured as my Gold Club tier package pick on my premium page. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Sixers-Kings game, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Sacramento's -6, totals 223.5. Now, the Kings did see overs recently against the likes of the Lakers, Pistons, and Nuggets. Meanwhile, Philadelphia went 7-1 to the over in their last 8 themselves, 63% to the over in their travels. Of course, if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line or against the point spread in this one, this particular matchup's being featured as today's NBA tier package pick. But as far as making a free play is concerned, I like the over 223.5. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. I like the Bulls -5 over 236. Give me the Magic +2 over 213. We're 7-2 with a push in our last 10 chairman tier package plays on my premium page. I like the Raptors +1 over 221. Miami Heat -8 under 222. Knicks -12.5 over 231 and a hook. Houston -5 under 221.5. I have no free pick available for you in the Hawks-Nuggets game. Give me the over 223.5 in the Sixers-Kings matchup. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks, my Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Well, that's it, folks. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy New Year's Day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.